This one's very, very lightweight, and just you can drag and drop documents in. It turns into PDF. I don't know my login. Likewise, if we go to the document camera, let's go back. No, I developed another one which we put out on. This one I put out on my blog at Nickull, and this one's called Scribbler. And this one was written in AIR, and it was distributed as an AIR file, but it looks, when I hit the menu, it looks just like any other application on the file. So I can, this is a simple little drawing one, so I can turn the drawing on, and I'm going to draw somebody in the audience. Now this is another thing you notice, like with the application components. You know, this is a color picker component. Now I had to scale it up, but when you scale it up and you click on it, it calls the second part of the component, which is the actual chooser. The color chooser is very, very hard to get it accurate. You have to have fingers about 1/100th the size of mine, but nevertheless, you know, I'll draw myself. You can see some of the problems with the old development techniques. This one, when it's installed, even though it was an AIR file, it has full access to things like reading and writing to the hard drive. So I can actually take this and save it. So I'll type in here. This is, again, is another thing you have to watch out for on mobile development. Now, when you have a touch screen and no keyboard, whenever you press the text box, like this one here, this little screen needs to pop up, and you can't have this, covering the text input you're trying to do, or covering the rest of the application so you can't scroll it, because you'll then get yourself into trouble. So I'll do this one that says JPEG, and say, See, my fingers are so bad that I can't even do this normally. So it's taking a little time. It's got to take a bitmap, which is an array of all the pixels, turn it into a bitmap. It's not responding. Okay. Let's see if the file browser can pick that one up. So there you can see our vcit.jpg did save there. And if you wanted to just, know that this is a real demo and not something conjured up, we can go back and turn the laptop back on. And as soon as it shows up here, we'll have this wonderful little picture of, there it is. So, saving on the part there. I'm not an artist, I'm not a designer, so I'm not going to apologize for my very poor design skills. So the first method is not bad, but there's kind of some weirdness with it, right? Like if you do this, and it's an AIR file, that means you're not optimizing the components. And that wasn't good enough for us. This is kind of the process of how it looks. The first time AIR launches, you'll be prompted to download the AIR runtime, just like the Java runtime. It gives you warnings that it's going to use your network and your hard drive and other things. And these are signed with certificates, but they don't have to be signed by a certificate issued by a root CA that is trusted like VeriSign or somebody. So you have no real idea. It's kind of a scary process for a lot of people. And then once it gets installed, if they do choose to install it, it's installable. It's like any other application. This is the demo we did earlier, the cross-compiling. But luckily, there's a better way. And the better way is called Flex 4.5. And it's the further continuation and evolution of the Flex components. And this works on the concept of a mobile application that is an AIR application, but it's optimized for mobile. Now, the subset of these are quite small. There's not as many components that you can use right now because this is out, but the good news is you can get this for free. Pop quiz. How many, for this nice cold Fusion t-shirt, how many kilobytes of space was the whole Flash player allocating for each new release?
40. Was that 400?
80, we said 400. So the anatomy of the Flash Builder 4.5 application is pretty simple. There's navigation content, title content, and action content, and then a view navigator. And the view navigator is really the key to how it works. I'm just going to show you the process of building an application here. So what should we build? Let's build a Twitter client. How about we just set up a basic application? Okay, so this is beta. By the way, don't do this at home. Don't run two major versions of the same release of Flash Builder at the same time, along with other versions of Eclipse. It has very funny results. So you can see right here we can do a Flex Mobile project. Now the Flex Mobile project called BCIT. You can use the Flex Hero framework. The Flex Hero framework is optimized. All of the crap that is not needed on a mobile device is shed out, and you get rid of it. But the architecture is substantially different. So eventually, this is the first release of it, so you can target platforms. We're doing Google Android. We want it to automatically reorient. I don't know why the full screen is there, because by default, I think it's always going to be full screen. And then a number of other things that you can choose off. And you get your new application. So the new application has basically a couple of things on it. It's got the first bit, which basically only declares one thing, that it's a mobile application, and then it says the first view. And how it works, if you look back at the mobile device again, you will see that the mobile device is built with this. Let's get the Twitter client one here. So this one's going to go out and get the latest trends from Twitter, so we get to see what people are talking about. So this little bit it loaded up right now, before it had the list, that is basically the first bit of the application here. And it says the first thing is we're going to load up is the view called BCIT Home. So it's in the views packet. And here's BCIT Home. So here's our BCIT Home now. Now if we want to do something with this, we can start building some logic into it. So we could go to the design, and let's go down to the components. And you notice the components are a little bit sparse. There's a button, checkbox, slider, list, etc. But it's not the same vastness you had. So here's our button here, and say switch view as the text on it. And go back to the code view, and let's make this go new XML component. We'll make a new view and call it BCIT2, and hit finish. And this is the BCIT2, and we'll go back to the BCIT home and make a click handler for this button. So we'll generate a click handler. Navigator, we're going to do something called push a view, and we're going to push a view to BCIT2, and we can pass it some data if we want. Now the cool thing about this particular development environment that's a lot different is that it's optimized for mobile. For first, I can go like this and see what it's going to look like in the different views. So of course, because my screen resolution is so small, you can't really see it very well right now. But nonetheless, this is a pretty cool feature to have. And then when I go to run it, I have the ability to either run it on my desktop, so I can choose a device to emulate. So I'll say Detroit 2 and apply and run it. And it will now launch it in a way that I can see how it would act. So here is my mobile application. Switch view. What it did is it pushed a view, so it grabbed a view from the view stack and pushed it over. And you notice the architecture for almost all mobile applications works in this very simple premise. You have the view navigator, and it sequentially pushes views in and pushes them back out. So we can go further than this. And just to show you one thing that's really cool is the this tape